Hey, this is Brett the Hitman Hart, and you're listening to the Smacked Raw podcast.
Hey, how's it going, guys? And welcome to the Smack Raw podcast, NXT Takeover in your house predictions episode. My name is Vince. I'm your host. I got two guests with me today, special guests. Stepbrother of the podcast, Matt Ritter from the Smackin Raw podcast. How's it going, man?
Feels good to be back. I appreciate you guys having me on. I'm excited.
Yeah, man. I felt like I had to have you on the show again, given that your last appearance, you predicted everything correctly. So we're gonna find out if it was a fluke or if you're really good at this, predicting stuff.
I just thought you couldn't get those wrestling girls, so I was your backup.
No, man, you're never a backup. You're never a backup. But we always, you got to shoot multiple shots. And that's why we have TC from the Young Kings of Wrestling podcast. How's it going, TC? Glad to have you on the show.
Hey, thanks for having me on here. I know I was on the Raw recap, I think last week, and I enjoyed it. So thanks for inviting me back again.
Hey, man, not gonna lie, I watched you on the recap with Kyle. I freaking loved your take on everything. I like your take on wrestling, on the whole like forget this whole Wednesday Night War stuff. Like, wrestling is wrestling. You just love it, and that's a lot of the stuff that I try to keep in mind too. It's like, people like to keep and make it a war between NXT and AEW like it's the Monday Night Wars. It's not that. You can watch everything. You can join all of that. But we're here to talk NXT. We're gonna talk about the Takeover card real quick. Love that you always come prepared, Matt. But before we do that, go ahead and make sure you hit us a follow on Twitter at SmackRawPod. You can find us on Wrestling News World. We are their exclusive wrestling recap podcast. Check them out for all the latest articles, all the news. They have such great stuff. And actually, they helped me win predictions last week. For I think Money in the Bank, it was the last pay-per-view. They helped me win because I used their article about the betting nuts. And I kind of cheated. And helped me win Money in the Bank. So I won Money in the Bank predictions because of that. So go ahead and check them out. They're a great source. Check us out wherever you consume all your audio podcasts. We're available wherever with linktree/SmackRawPod. You can find us on YouTube at SmackRaw, at youtube.com/SmackRawPodcast. Sorry. I'm a little rusty, even though I did this yesterday. Matt, where can they find your stuff real quick?
We are Smackin' It Raw. That is just like Smacked Raw, but with an IN instead of an ED. Mm-hmm. You guys can find everything you need to know about us on my Twitter at Matt Ritter. That is at MATTRIDDER. There's link trees there. The link tree /creation world will take you to the video where you guys can find us on YouTube and Pornhub, because we are the #1 wrestling podcast on Pornhub. And then the Smackin' It Raw link tree will take you to the audio where you guys can find us on Spotify, Stitcher, all that other shit. So
sounds good. What about you, TC? Where can they find all your stuff? Plug all your stuff.
You can find you can find me on Instagram. I don't really post. My Twitter is out there, but I'm thinking of canceling it soon. So I won't give that out. But you can check out Young Kings Wrestling podcast at YK Wrestling everywhere, as well as the Young Kings Sports Network at YK Sports 23 on Twitter and Instagram. And also, you want to take a listen to our podcast. We have the links to everywhere at YKWrestling.com. So check it out, man.
Dope. I recommend both of their content. They're great stuff. So since we're a bunch of mixed bag of three guys here, let's talk about the mixed tag match that was made just recently between the team of Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, and Raquel Gonzalez taking on Tegan Nox, Shotzi Blackheart, and Mia Yim. This is just a filler match. I'm surprised they have more than 5 matches on TakeOver. They don't like to overload the card. Quickly here, I'll start with you, TC, because you haven't been on the show as often. Who you got here in this team? It's the 6-woman tag.
I'm going to be totally honest with you, and this is just a testament. I listened to you guys yesterday, and I do agree that the women's division in NXT has just been kind of flat for a while now. I think Shayna Baszler's extremely long range has kind of killed any momentum that the women had built, and they're just really hard pressed to replace that at the moment. So because of that, my interest for this match isn't really there. Also, it's the fact that besides like Mia Yim, we haven't really seen anybody else in this match do anything on the roster at all.
Shotzi has come out in the tank, and that just made me fall in love with her.
That's
from
dope,
the minute.
but that's so dope. But looking at the everybody else in the match, like Mia Yim is really the only one that's done something.
Okay.
Like Shotzi's new, like Tegan Knox has been hurt. Dakota Kai has just kind of recently done something, and Raquel Gonzalez is new, and Candice LeRae has really just been Johnny Gargano's wife for the entirety of her tenure on NXT. So my interest isn't really there for this one, but I feel like the babyface women haven't really done much of anything. So I'm gonna go with them just to get the win.
Okay.
It seems like it's only right at this moment.
Okay, cool. What about you, Matt? Do you agree with TC, or do you...
I'm actually gonna go the opposite. Sorry, I was distracted. I was just adding Young Kings Wrestling to my Spotify podcast list.
As you should.
I'm going with the heels here, and it's gonna break my heart because Shotzi Blackheart's my shit. But I'm gonna go as far as saying she's there to take the pin. Candice is the one they're pushing. Candice is the one that they're building that feud with, along with Mia. But I really think that they're gonna give this win to Candice. Raquel's kind of been unstoppable. Dakota. I love Tegan. I love Mia. I love Shotzi. But yeah, I got to say that heels are winning this one, and Shotzi's going to eat that pin. That's what she's there for.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna agree with you, Matt. And don't think we're just piling on you, TC. But I don't think there's going to be too much going on in this match. It's just a filler match, but they're going to try to carry and like build on some storyline. I feel like the way I targeted this match and the way I looked into it when I was predicting it, who benefits the most from this win? And I think the ones that benefit the most is Candice LeRae, Dakota Kai, and Raquel Gonzalez. Tegan Knox can take a loss. Shotzi can take a loss. Even Mia Yim, she just took a roll-up pin to Candice on Wednesday night. So I feel like it's going to be a case where maybe this isn't the last time we see each other. See these women with each other. They might do a separate match, or like maybe they're gonna like branch off a different feud for Candice here with Tegan Knox or Shotzi, and that's what this match is here for. I think Candice or Dakota Kai are gonna get the win, and I'm gonna say it's gonna be either Mia or Tegan. I think they might protect Shotzi. I think she won't take the pin, but I wouldn't be surprised if she's the one that gets pinned. So far, me and Matt agree. We got the heel team, and TC he's got the Shotzi Blackheart team.
The reason I said Shotzi's going to eat the pin is because she has been eating pins and it has not hurt her. She has that. She's still early on, so she's got that charisma. She's, as you said, the tank, which is fucking awesome. She's got all that going for her where she's coming out. She's putting on great shows. She's not quite getting the wins yet because they're not really pushing her forward, but it's not hurting her. You still want to see her. You're still excited for her. So I think it's easier for her to take it and not lose any momentum than everyone else.
Similar to like a young Bailey, like when in the early stages of NXT, the young Bailey was taking a lot of L's until she finally rose up. Even Sami Zayn was taking a lot of L's, and even Johnny Gargano was taking some L's before he actually rose to the top of the card. So I wouldn't be surprised.
I was actually going to say that it's kind of like a rite of passage for NXT guys, especially the women. Like you mentioned Bailey, same thing happened with Becky Lynch as well. Like it's like a rite of passage. You go through like a long period of losing for like some months until you kind of get on your feet. Like it's just what it is. There's nothing wrong with it. So like especially if you're over, I was watching an interview earlier with I don't know what to call him, Brother Ray, Bully Ray. What we call him now, Bubba.
Bully, yeah.
Call him Bully now.
I was watching an interview with him earlier, and he's basically saying like, if you can get over, that's honestly all you need. Like that's all you should need.
True.
So as long as you're over, you can lose a lot for your first
and here's
6 months, and you'll be fine.
Out of all 6 women, I think the one that's most over with like with the wrestling community is Shotzi Blackheart.
Yeah,
like either you really either you really super freaking love her or you just don't get her.
But a fucking hater.
He is. So let's move on and let's talk about a match that Matt actually predicted was going to happen. I'm talking about Finn Balor taking on Damien Priest. We'll start with Matt because you predicted this match that was going to happen. Who wins here and why?
I'm gonna go Damian Priest, and kind of for the same reason I talked about last time is I love Finn Balor, but he's in a holding pattern until he gets that feud with Walter.
Okay.
Damian Priest hasn't got any big wins. He attacked Finn Balor with the purpose of getting his name out there, and while I can see them putting on a great match and him getting over just from working, he is a heel. It's going to do more for Damian Priest to get a win over Finn Balor than it is for Finn Balor to beat Damian Priest. When we're just waiting for this to kind of clear up so he can go face Walter for that NXT UK title.
But that might be a long time coming. We don't know when we're actually going to see that. So it might be wise to keep Finn strong. But TC, go ahead. Give us, who do you think is going to win here, Damian Priest or Finn Balor?
This is my sleeper match for the night. Just because I feel like all the other matches got so much more hype over it, a lot of people seem to overlook Damian Priest still at this point. So, but as far as who's going to win it, I don't know when the whole Walter feud is going to happen, or if they even want to do that now. Like he's not even bothering with Imperium at this point either, and they're around. But because of that, I think I'm gonna go with Finn Balor. I think they want to just continue and build some momentum with him. The rest of what I want to say is gonna go into a prediction later on in the show. So I'm just gonna stop right there for now.
All right, for sure. So I'll chime in quickly and say this reminds me similar to, not so much, but like the idea of Velveteen Dream versus Aleister Black, where Velveteen wanted Aleister to say his name and acknowledge him. It's similar in the sense because Damian Priest wants everyone to acknowledge his name and his name to live in infamy, and he doesn't necessarily have to take out Finn Balor to get that done. So my prediction here is Finn Balor. You got to keep him strong. Obviously, he's one of your top guys in NXT. He came over to main roster. And Damian Priest, like you were mentioning, Matt, he hasn't really won anything of note. Dominik Dijakovic has been rumored to be called up to either Raw or SmackDown. He's the new Dijakovic. He's going to be the guy that puts on a really dope match but doesn't really win anything too big. He might be a North American champion down the line.
Baron Corbin.
The cool Puerto Rican Baron Corbin. That's who he is.
He's Lone Wolf Baron Corbin. Like not only do they just have a similar like aesthetic, it's just kind of the same vibe. They're the big heel that just kind of is there to put other guys over and just kind of be a force.
For sure.
So possibly just like in Corbin's sake, if he goes up to the main roster, they might do something with him. But in NXT, that's kind of his role.
For sure.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but
no, that's fine, man. If you have an idea or if you want to chime in on something, by all means, add. So let's move on. Both me and TC got Finn Balor, and then Matt standing alone with Damian Priest. You might be right. Let's move on. Karrion Kross versus Tommaso Ciampa. This match was set up from like the little like cameo spot from their final match, like the final and the hard match they had with Johnny Gargano. You saw the little like snippet, the little like cameo of Karrion Kross, and I've loved this feud. I like the build up to it. I haven't really like watched too much of Killer Kross when he was in Impact or even in the Indies, so I don't know what his in-ring work is going to be like. But I feel like this is going to be more of a fight, even though it's going to be a standard wrestling match. Given that Karrion Kross just recently debuted, this will be his first legit match on NXT, and I feel like he has to win. And Tommaso Ciampa has kind of like stepped into like the grandfather role of NXT, where I'm gonna like put some people over. I'm gonna be steadily still on top, similar to Shawn Michaels, how he was back in like Raw back in in his second run, or like even like a Rey Mysterio or Undertaker in his SmackDown run, where Undertaker wasn't really with the title that often, but when it was time for him to be champion, he stepped up. So I'm going to go with Karrion Kross to pick up the win here. TC, we'll start with you, man. Who you got here?
I'm biased. I get to see Karrion Kross, when he was known as Killer Kross, a lot out here in Vegas. Seen him a few times. He also follows us on Instagram and just like is always interacting with our posts. So because of that, I'm extremely biased. I will go with him anyway. But because of logic, I'm gonna go with him still. It's his first legitimate match. You want to just kind of put him out there right out the gates. I think it's going to be really violent, and I'm expecting something similar to Brock Lesnar, John Cena at SummerSlam, like that type of match where it's just Tommaso Ciampa just gets brutalized, but he's not going to quit. He's never been a quitter. So It's gonna look pretty bad for old Blackheart there, but I don't know where he goes after this. But right now, it's not gonna look too good. But
I
he's
mean,
gonna put up a fight.
Matt, I know you're a huge Tommaso Ciampa guy, but are you backing your guy up on Takeover, or you're gonna root for Karrion Kross here? Are you picking him?
Oh no, it's Cross. Like you guys said, it's his debut big match. I mean, there's no quicker way to ruin any momentum that this guy has coming in than by having him lose his first big takeover match, his first real match in NXT, because he's only had squash matches. Like, there's no question about it. I love Ciampa. Behind Keith Lee, Ciampa's it for me in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
He's my shit. The theme music, the attitude when he comes out, everything about him, I'm all for it. But yeah, no, like you said, this is kind of where he's at. This is his role. This is his position. I'm just really looking forward to this match because, like you said, I think it's going to be violent. I think it's going to be entertaining as hell. And I want to see, because like Vince, I'm not familiar with Killer Cross. So I want to see what this guy can do outside of a 2-minute squash match and hopefully outside of the terribly named cross jacket that they keep having.
Well, also too, Karrion Kross gets some brownie points for me because he's got Chicago's own Scarlett Bordeaux in his corner. So anyone that is cool with Scarlett is cool with me.
And that entrance.
The entrance is dope as fuck. Let's
I
talk.
would love to see that entrance in an arena.
With actual fans. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the North American title match between Johnny Gargano and the champion Keith Lee. This is tough because I feel like depending on what happens in this match, like this one and the NXT title match kind of like are intertwined in a way, because if Keith Lee were to drop this title, I feel like he's going right after that NXT title and Adam Cole if Dream doesn't get the job done. So that's where I'm seeing where this is going to go. I feel like Keith, if it's not Velveteen that gets the title off of Cole, it's got to be Keith Lee because he's the next big name there for me that should take the title off of Adam Cole. And the only way for him to do that is for him to drop the title to Johnny. So this one's tough, man. I'm going to go with like the standard wrestling math. And Johnny stood tall at the end of the show, and he touched the title before the pay-per-view on the go-home show. So I'm going to say Keith Lee retains it just one more time before dropping it to somebody and going for the NXT title. Matt?
Basking in his glory. No, like I said, Keith Lee's my guy. And logic aside, I don't want to see him lose that title yet. This is the first real tangible, I feel like, feud that we've gotten with Keith Lee as North American champion, and I don't think it's quite run its course yet. While I am excited to see him move up and go after the NXT championship and become NXT champion, that's definitely something I want to happen. I want to get more out of him here in this role, and I feel like this feud with Johnny Gargano has legs to at least carry it into the summer. I don't think it's going to, end here. And if Keith Lee loses, yeah, he could come back after Johnny, but he could also go up to, like you said, the main title. Whereas Johnny's going to want to, prove himself and avenge that loss. And, he's not going to accept it. Or if there's some shenanigans there at the end with Johnny not, finishing the match or it not going his way, I see them having another match at the next takeover. So Keith Lee remains the North American champion.
Dope. TC, are you with us with Keith Lee, or are you going with Johnny wrestling?
I'm with you guys, man. And first, let me just say I've been the biggest Johnny Gargano hater since DIY broke up, because like he was a loser for like a good year and a half possibly, but everybody loved him. I'm like, he's a loser. But like this new version of Johnny Gargano is different. I like it. I really like the chicken shit heel. I love it, especially when guys know how to play it, and Johnny Gargano knows how to play it. So after what happened Wednesday, just like you said, Vince, the typical WWE trope where like one guy stands tall on the go home show usually means he's going to lose. I think that's what they go with in this case, and Keith Lee retains just because he hasn't done anything yet really with the belt. I think he had like match with Dijakovic a while back on NXT, but that's really it. So I think he needs like another month or two with the belt, and he could drop it on an episode of TV just before SummerSlam, and they want to insert him in the world title picture after that, it's a good lane for him right there. But just let's give Keith a little bit more time, and we want to bask in his glory a little bit more.
Yeah, I like that for sure. Yeah, so we're gonna move on. I like how we were talking about the math, but we can't really assess the math here because it's Velveteen Dream versus Adam Cole in a backlot brawl match. I'm guessing it's just a new way to say parking lot brawl outside the Performance Center or outside of
WrestleMania 12.
Exactly. What do you think is going to be Goldust Piper?
I think that's what they're gonna play off of in this match, because like Velveteen Dream is that weird character just like Goldust.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can do a lot of references there. Like, is Adam Cole gonna get a water hose and just like spray the shit out of Dream, and somebody gonna get hit by a car? I don't know, but I would like to see a couple callbacks on it.
Okay, so I feel like this is going to be cinematic, similar to how Ciampa versus Gargano was. But my question is, will they incorporate some comedy in there, and do you want to see that? Matt, because I want to know what your take on this. Because Velveteen Dream's character opens the door for some comedy, especially given that you could see the factor of damn, why am I drawing a blank on his name? Guy that's stalking on this era right now.
Dexter Lumis.
Dexter Lumis. I'm sorry. I feel so bad that I forgot his name for a second. I just had a brain for it. But yeah, they could include Dexter Lumis like when the other Undisputed Era members try to get involved, and they could do some comedy stuff. They can make it very serious horror movie stuff. You don't know what avenue they can go with. Do you feel like it would affect them? Would you rather it be very serious like Gargano Ciampa, or more like somewhere in between of that and the Money in the Bank match?
I was thinking it was going to be cinematic as well, especially because with the way they're doing shows, you can still do it cinematic and still have people in the parking lot watching 6 feet apart, cheering, and have the noise and stuff like that. I agree that with Velveteen Dream, you do have that avenue. So I would like to see, just a little bit of Velveteen's character, not necessarily straight up cheesy Money in the Bank match comedy, because I took our own side with that. That it just didn't do it for me. So definitely leaning more towards Ciampa Gargano, but definitely I want Velveteen Dream's personality in there. I wouldn't mind a Dexter Lumis cameo coming in and saving Velveteen Dream. Are we doing the prediction now too as to who wins, or are we just
yeah, no, go ahead. We're gonna start off with you, Matt. Who do you think is gonna walk away NXT champion?
Dream. Cole's had that title for a year now.
Yeah, they did the 1 year celebration on NXT.
His last couple feuds have been okay. He's not doing it for me as champion anymore, so I need to see him move on from that title picture. And I'd really love to see Velveteen Dream, with all the work he's put in and everything he's done and this character that he's developed and made, rewarded for what he has achieved with what he's done. So I'm all for Velveteen Dream winning it. I want to see him walk out. And I think that his run as NXT champion for however long it is would be really entertaining with what he could do.
What about you, TC?
I'm gonna answer your first question. I wouldn't mind seeing some comedy. Because we saw a little bit of it with the Undisputed Era celebration on Wednesday, and then like Dream looking in the mirror and then he turns into Prince for some reason. I don't know what that was about, but so you see a little bit of the aspects in these vignettes. So I'm pretty sure they're incorporated. I heard the match is supposed to be like recorded tomorrow, maybe, or they might have recorded already. I don't know, but who's gonna win? This is a tough one because I honestly don't know. I don't know the status of the allegations with Velveteen Dream.
That's true.
And so I'm really conflicted. And also Triple H doesn't seem to know when to take the belt off of somebody. As we saw with Shayna Baszler, he just like leaves championships on his heels for a very long time. So I can see a scenario where Adam Cole ends up actually retaining the championship. And to touch back on what I was saying earlier, during my prediction for Finn Balor versus Damien Priest, I can see Finn Balor eventually being the one to dethrone Adam Cole later on this summer in a couple months. So, I'm going to go with Adam Cole here, and we get Adam Cole and Finn Balor SummerSlam weekend.
Yeah, for sure. That's very plausible. The thing that clouds my judgment on who will win here is I've been seeing reports that because we saw Matt Riddle got called up to SmackDown. I have been hearing that Io Shirai, I've seen the name of Chelsea Green, I've seen the name of Velveteen, and then recently I've heard Undisputed Era is all coming up to Raw or something. So you don't know what to really believe here. And because of that, I can see a scenario where Velveteen Dream gets the title and Undisputed Era debuts on Raw in a couple of weeks. Or I can see a scenario where Adam Cole retains and then Velveteen Dream gets called up to either SmackDown or Raw in a couple of weeks. So I can see whoever loses this match going up to the main roster and doing something there, and they're done here. And also, too, we have to add the caveat here that the stipulation is if Velveteen Dream doesn't get the job done, he can no longer get a title shot for the NXT title so long as Adam Cole is champion. I say they wouldn't have added that stipulation for a reason. They wouldn't have thrown out the 1 year celebration. And that I feel like that's just to throw you off and make you feel like, oh man, he has been champion for a long time. Dream will get the title. Also, too, they wouldn't really do anything with Dexter Lumis and Undisputed Era if they weren't going to stick around a little bit longer. I'm going to go ahead and say that Adam Cole retains here, and Velveteen Dream either moves on to something else or moves on to main roster. So that's just my pick.
As far as the allegations go, the way I look at it is they already beat Velveteen Dream once with Adam Cole in a title match. So if the allegations were anything serious or anything they were worried about, that was their out. I don't see them making this match or doing this match. They could have gone out and they could have – I think it was you, Vince, or RN that was saying that you guys thought that Dexter – or maybe it was Travis. I can't remember anymore. I talk to you guys so much now. That they were thinking Dexter Lumis was going to be the next guy after Velveteen Dream. Now that I'm saying that it was Travis.
I think I mentioned that too. I think I mentioned that to you as well.
And I don't see that happening. And if that was the case, he'd be at this title match now. Like they had the perfect opportunity without putting Velveteen Dream in here to move him up if that was the plan and get Velveteen Dream out if they were worried about it. So I don't think the allegations at this point are anything serious or anything that they're worried about.
Okay. Well, nonetheless, I agree with TC. I think Adam Cole is going to keep the title. I think Dream's going to win. So let's talk about the final match and the match that I feel like should be the main event because it's going to be an actual wrestling match. And I feel like you should end it that way. Like I love those cinematic matches, but especially if you're going to have a crowd back and you have the big name of Charlotte Flair. Yes, Finn Balor is a big name, but you could argue that Charlotte Flair is the biggest name on NXT currently, regardless of how you feel about her. She's a great wrestler. She puts on a solid match. And I'm interested to see her in this format because a lot of the horsewomen, except for maybe Bayley and Sasha, they didn't really have a takeover moment. They don't have that standard NXT takeover wow match that you normally have in front of a large crowd. They would have these matches when they were in Full Sail. There were smaller events. And I would like to see what Charlotte can bring, especially being in the ring with the likes of an Io Shirai, who we've seen is basically another AJ Styles. She could just really go in the ring with just about anybody and can deliver in there. And I like Rhea Ripley. I don't think she's fully fleshed out just yet in the ring. I think she has a long future ahead of her. I think she's going to be a big star. She reminds me similar to Randy Orton, but on the female side of things, she has a lot of potential. A lot of the stuff she does character work. It seems very effortless, and she just is able to get her point across. I really like her. All three of them together. I don't know who's going to win. I'm going to let you guys tell me who you think first, and then I'll tell you my prediction after the fact. But I love Io. I don't know if it's her time, though. But, Matt, we'll start with you, man. Who you got here?
This is the one match I'm going to throw all logic out the window. I'm with you. I want to see Io win. I don't care about rumors of her going up. I think it's really a wasted opportunity to have had her down in NXT and not give her at least one title run. Rhea's been there. I will go on record as saying more than likely, probably logically, Charlotte will win because it's fucking Charlotte.
Yeah.
But I want to see Io win. I want to see Io walk out with that title. I want to see her get a run as champion before she gets called up.
Mm-hmm.
So all biased in, especially because I really just want Charlotte out of NXT. If she's not going to be there permanently, I don't want to see her there. I'm going with Io.
Okay. What about you, TC? Who you got in this match?
Oh man, I am sick and tired of seeing Charlotte Flair on my TV 3 times a week. I am fed up with it. She doesn't need the championship. We know that. I don't know what the purpose is of her being down in NXT and still being champion after. it's been what 2 months since WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, I think she's had the belt too long. I was actually expecting her to drop it a long time ago.
Okay.
I did not, because I was going to be on this show. I did not do predictions with my co-host on our last episode,
Okay.
but I am with them when they say if Io Shirai does not win, I'm gonna riot. I'm gonna join one of these riots out here.
Justice for Io.
Io needs to win, man. But what I know is gonna happen, and I'm not gonna get disappointed just because I know if Charlotte Flair wins, which I think is gonna happen. So it's what I'm sure of, and what I want are two different things. But honestly, I think I'm just go with the safe route for now. Charlotte Flair wins. I don't know who takes the pin in this match, but
okay, so I feel like if Io was going to win the title, it probably would have been in a singles match. If she held her own against Charlotte up until like Charlotte busted out the kendo stick, I don't know if she'll actually get the title. I'm with you guys. It has to be Io. Io should get the title. It's a waste of her to be in NXT, be a top face. Like we were saying, like the women's division, they're lacking big stars, not talents, but big names. Like they had like back in the day, a couple months back. They just recently lost Bianca Belair. She should have been an NXT champion months ago. Maybe like she should have been champion months ago. She should have been the one to take off the title off of Shayna. And it goes to what you were saying earlier. Triple H just doesn't know when to take the title off of his heel champions. Unfortunately, Charlotte's a heel champion. And my question is, if she's not NXT champion, does she stay in NXT? And if she does she even have anything else to offer NXT if she's not champion? What's the value there? And I don't think they're ready for her to leave NXT anytime soon. So I don't think she's going to drop the title. I don't think Io takes the pin. I think it's going to be Rhea Ripley that gets the pin. Gets pinned here by Charlotte or submits to Charlotte again. They're going to keep telling the story of Rhea Ripley just not on that Charlotte Flair level, and Io's just going to get this close, and the win's going to be stolen from her by Charlotte. That's what I'm predicting.
So I'm with you on that, except as you were talking, if they don't want to hurt Charlotte and they do want to put the title on Io, it's better to do it in a triple threat match than a one-on-one singles, and then they can carry that on when Io gets called up as to how Io has a win over Charlotte, but she didn't beat Charlotte to get that win.
Okay.
Which is something they like to do. So
all right,
I'm sticking with Io.
Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start up a prayer circle on Twitter in the hopes that Io Shirai wins the title and beats Charlotte Flair on Sunday. But that's all the matches. That's what we covered so far. Thank you guys for listening. I appreciate you guys. If you enjoyed this episode and you want to see more of TC and Matt Ritter, go ahead and check them out. That's the Smackin' and Raw podcast. They're the number one wrestling podcast on Pornhub because they're the only wrestling podcast on Pornhub.
That's not the important part.
It's part of the catchphrase though, so I felt like I had to include it. TC, you can find him with the Young Kings of Wrestling podcast. They're freaking dope. I encourage you guys, especially right now, to go check out more podcasts with people of color, man. Like you guys are freaking dope, and I swear, like that Raw podcast you did with Kyle, like I love this guy. I need to have him on NXT. I need to bring him on and work with me one of these days. And I also listened into your podcast with RN, and I thought it was freaking, even though it was long. I thought it was really freaking good. Go ahead and give this episode a download wherever you consume all your audio podcasts. Subscribe, comment down below. Let us know who you think will win this Sunday at TakeOver in Your House. And by the way, I'm just glad that In Your House is back. I'm just glad they brought that gimmick back. I love it.
I need the house stage though. Like if they don't have that, they drop the ball.
Oh, they better.
They better have the house.
To do that. They can't not do that.
They have to have the house stage. But quickly again, like I told you, where you guys can find all these guys. Check out Wrestling News World for all your latest wrestling news articles and stuff like that. Check out Belts by Dan if you like to have custom belts. They have great selection over there. Let them know that the Smack Raw podcast sent you. But yeah, that's the predictions episode. We'll catch you guys Sunday night or Monday morning, depending if I can live stream the episode or not for TakeOver in Your House post show. So we'll catch you guys then. Thank both of you guys for coming on here. I appreciate both UTC and Matt Riddle showing up. I love the UE love over there, man.
And don't forget, you guys can check out both RN and Vince on the Smackin' Raw podcast. Saturday morning-ish or whenever Travis decides to upload it, but it should be up before TakeOver. So you guys can check out our next episode with Vince and RN covering Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and AEW.
Yeah, so right before your morning fap, you can go ahead and just check out the Smackin' the Raw podcast, and then just go ahead and go to work.
Or right after. You can rub one out and then just click on over to us.
Yeah, exactly. What about GTC? Anything coming up recently?
Oh yeah, we have our last episode just came out yesterday. We have NXT Takeover predictions as well, and we also kind of shoot on the Mike Tyson Chris Jericho thing too. So
I can't wait to hear that.
Nobody liked that at all.
Oh man, I can't wait to hear that. I can't wait to hear that.
Yeah, go ahead and check that out. That's everywhere: Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Play, just anywhere. So YKWrestling.com.
Dope. Definitely check both of them out. I'll put some of their info in the description so you guys can check them out. Obviously, when I promote it, I'm gonna tag all your shit in there. There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. You gotta love that support. All right, but this has been the Smack Raw podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you guys this Sunday for Takeover in your house. Later, y'all.